99% of medical diagnostics are about to break. If you miss this shift, your understanding of healthcare innovation becomes obsolete. The exact system that built fake pop star photos is now mapping your internal organs. The generative AI revolution started as a parlor trick. Millions of people spent the last few years typing text prompts to create imaginary landscapes and cyberpunk cats. This was the era of synthetic pixels, where the biggest controversies were about copyright and deepfakes. It felt like the ceiling for this technology was just entertaining us or speeding up graphic design workflows. The underlying architecture was built to understand the relationship between language and visual space, mapping out how pixels should align to match a description. Most observers assumed these models would stay trapped inside the creative industry forever. But that digital playground was just the beginning. Translating text into an image uses the exact same math as reading biological tissue. The Verge recently reported a massive pivot showing Midjourney expanding beyond basic art generation to focus on full-body ultrasound scans. The core insight here is that a neural network trained to predict how light falls on a generated object can also be trained to interpret how sound waves bounce off human organs. Instead of predicting the next pixel to draw a cat, the system predicts the structure of a liver or a heart from acoustic data. This flips the entire purpose of the company from a creative utility to a diagnostic powerhouse. And the medical implications are terrifyingly massive. Traditional ultrasounds are notoriously difficult to read. They rely heavily on the physical skill of the technician and produce grainy, artifact-heavy visuals that require years of training to decode. But the fundamental technology behind models like Midjourney is diffusion, which is literally a process of removing noise to reveal a clear picture. By applying this exact denoising process to raw acoustic data, the AI can construct a flawless high-resolution three-dimensional map of the body. This software breakthrough means a cheap portable probe could potentially outperform a $100,000 hospital machine. The barrier to entry for clinical-grade diagnostics just dropped to zero. Yet the hardware is just the first step. Hallucinating a weird hand in a painting is funny, but hallucinating a tumor is lethal. This is the absolute biggest bottleneck for bringing generative models into clinical spaces. The system must be perfectly constrained so it only enhances real acoustic data without inventing biological structures that do not exist in the patient. Navigating the rigid regulatory frameworks of organizations like the FDA requires proving that the model is diagnostic and not strictly generative. Developers are currently fighting to build guardrails that lock the neural network to biological reality while still leveraging its incredible pattern recognition abilities. If they fail, the liability risks will bankrupt the initiative instantly. Solving this unlocks a totally different reality. Routine diagnostic scanning is about to leave the hospital entirely. Once the software is capable of turning cheap sensors into clinical-grade imagers, the hardware will inevitably shrink and enter the consumer market. We are looking at a near future where running a full-body scan takes 5 minutes in your own bathroom. Instead of waiting for symptoms to appear and booking a specialist months in advance, people will track their organ health with the same casual frequency that they track their daily steps. The AI will cross-reference your scans over time, spotting millimeter changes in tissue density long before human doctors ever could. This triggers a massive shift in data monetization. The ultimate prize here is not selling hardware or software subscriptions. It is the proprietary biological data. When millions of people start uploading high-fidelity internal scans every single week, the company powering the AI builds the largest health dataset in human history. This allows them to train a true biological foundation model, one capable of predicting disease vectors across entire populations before they happen. Midjourney shifting from art to organs proves that the big tech companies are no longer satisfied with owning your digital attention. They are moving aggressively to map and compute your physical existence. The next phase will rewrite everything you know. To stay ahead of the next massive shift in technology, subscribe and hit the bell icon.